And so get out of their way because they're going to tear things down. They're a bit reckless, but that's because they're bulldozers. That's what they're for. The Josiah generation is not going to be polite. They're going to come and tear stuff down that many people have loved for years, but that's their purpose. And that's exactly what you see in the wilderness. You see a generation that rises that does not do what their parents did, that zags where the parents zigged. Okay. The parents went and stayed in the wilderness. The next generation learned and said, not us. Y'all go ahead. And that's what we're watching right now. We're seeing young people who are watching the example of people who got duped and feel dumb now. 30 to 50-year-olds can't find anybody. Okay. Living alone because you bought a bunch of lies now. Okay. Bought serial lies. And here we are now. So this time period that we're in is actually a much kadosh time period for the young, for the next generation. Those that want to still participate, well, you better run and catch up to the young ones is all I got to say.
Mm-hmm.
You better run and catch up to what Yahuwah is doing, because you trying to hold on to what he did 50 years ago, okay, 30 years ago, that you're like, no, there was a move. I'm sure there was, but sweetheart, the pillar has moved on.
Yeah, I love the way you say Josiah generation. I love the way you say Josiah generation, because in 2 Chronicles 35 and 36, we see a king who was used to restore the feast, to restore the Moadim, to restore the two houses coming together as Echad, the true Echad assembly, rather than national division, right? Amen. So, and we've talked about this before. You mentioned generation. Josiah was one of the great giants of the scriptures, and not most, but a lot of people don't know that much about him. But when you study the life of Josiah, it's an amazing submitted life in royalty. He was humble, and he was teachable, and he was correctable, and he was used to restore. That was revival. That was that revival touched everything from Gerizim to Moriah, from Dan to Bethel. Okay? That was a Josiah revival. It went all the way from Dan to Bethel. And how many times do we read in the scriptures that this and this and this happened, right? From Dan to Bethel, right? Which is all inclusive, right?
It goes
but that Josiah was a major figure. He didn't care about tradition.